So first and foremost, I want to say I'm proud of you, right? For taking the steps to control your life. Listen, if you're not familiar, my name is Chucky, and I'll spend roughly between 10 to 15 minutes with you, right, in this video discussing a few steps you need to consider and take to start repairing and boost your credit yourself. That's right, after you watch this video, you'll be able to do this completely by yourself. You don't need any help, right? Within this download, you will receive 2 documents containing steps and clickable links directly to some other resources. I can't stress this enough. The importance of reading both the other 2 documents. Make sure you read both the other 2 documents, please. Now that we're on the same page, let's get started. So look, if your credit isn't where you want it to be, you need to hear this first. Bad credit doesn't necessarily mean you're irresponsible. You understand? It usually means you were never taught the system the right way, right? In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to clean your credit yourself step by step. No gimmicks, no shortcuts. I'm going to show you what actually matters, what to ignore, and how to start fixing your credit the right way, even if it's been messed up for years. So before we go, I want to get this clear. I won't be giving any dispute letter templates or advanced strategies here. That's for my course that I'm building around wealth creation and financial literacy, which includes credit. But if you follow this process that I'm about to explain, you'll understand exactly what to do next and why. So step 1, I want you to pull your credit report, right? Trust me, you cannot fix what you haven't reviewed. Let me say that again. You cannot fix what you haven't reviewed, right? I know, just thinking about your credit makes you cringe. Trust me, you're not alone. We've all been there, but you have to face the music. You can't keep ignoring it. It's not going to change because you ignored it, right? The first step to cleaning your credit is pulling the full reports, right? It's not just your score. Your score is just a reaction, and your report is the cause. Remember that. You can pull your credit reports for free at annualcreditreport.com. You're entitled to 1 free credit report per year for all 3 credit bureaus. That's Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, right? You follow me? Now, this is where most people mess up, right? Because why? Because they only check 1 bureau instead of all 3. You need to check all 3. Plus, they only rely on 1 credit app, like Credit Karma, which doesn't show all 3. Credit Karma only shows you 2. It's not reliable enough. So go where I told you go, pull all the 4 reports. I want you to look for 4 things when you're on these reports, right? Just remember these 4 basic things I want you to remember. Number 1, accounts that don't belong to you. Anything unfamiliar, because this could mean you've been a victim of identity theft, right? So make sure you check that. Number 2, any incorrect late payments, right? If it says you were late in January, for example, and you know you weren't, that can be challenged, that can be disputed. Remember that. Number 3, old collections accounts, right? That should be gone, right? Collections are supposed to fall off your credit report 7 years from the original delinquency date. Remember that. If it's still there, that's a problem. And yes, you can dispute it, right? Follow me. Number 4, incorrect balances or wrong account statuses, right? If it says open when it should be closed, right? Any of those accounts, right? Balances that don't make sense, anything incorrect, you can challenge, right? So that's step 1. And step 1 is about awareness, not action yet. I'm not telling you what to do yet, right? But you need to be aware of what's going on. Don't start disputing anything emotionally. Don't panic right now, right? It's your job to be simple, be calm, right? Identify what's incorrect, right? Identify what's hurting your score the most. And here's the reason this matters, right? Because under the FCRA, which is the Fair Credit Reporting Act, your credit reports must be accurate, they must be fair and private. Step 2, fix your payment behavior first, right? Here's the key truth, right? Payment history controls everything, right? But here's the hard truth. No dispute strategy in the world will save you if you're still paying late on your bills. You gotta start paying on time, right? Let's be clear about this. Payment history is the largest factor that makes up your credit score. Not utilization, not inquiries, but payments, right? You understand? One late payment, just one, can undo months of progress, right? So before you worry about cleaning up the past, you have to lock down the present. You gotta follow me, right? That means zero excuses. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to set auto pay on every account that's reporting to your credit reports, right? Auto pay, period, nothing else. That way you don't miss a payment. I want you to pay at least the minimum due every single month, every single time, right? No exceptions, right? Not I forgot, not I was short, not I will catch up on it next month, right? No, that's not going to work. Late is late, right? You don't need perfection, you just need consistency. Consistent on-time payments tells lenders one thing, and guess what that is? This person can be trusted, and that's how you get the bag, right? That's how you get that cash, right? That's how you actually improve your credit. Not overnight, not with hacks that you watch all on Instagram, right? But lenders see reliable behavior over time. Step 3, control your credit card balances, right? Utilization is killing more scores than collections. Trust me, I know for this for a fact, right? Listen, this is where a lot of people get things confused. Credit card balances matter way more than people realize, right? Even if you pay on time, high balances still make you look risky. You never want to look risky. So you're going to do one thing right. But another thing is quietly dragging your score down, right? Here's the rule I want you to learn, right? And burn it in your brain. Use less, owe less, look safer. You always want to look safe to the banks, right? That's it. That's the formula. Ideally, you want to keep each card, right? Each of your credit cards, listen, under 30% of its limit, right? Under 10% is even better, right? So for example, if you have $1,000 credit card, right? You want to keep the balance under 300 and closer to 100 if you really want your points to move. You feel me? And we want our points to move up. So we want to keep that balance low. Let me kill the myth real quick, right? Carrying a balance does not help your credit. For some odd reason, people think that. That's a myth to keep people paying interest. Don't believe it. That's not true, right? Yes, making a minimum payment keeps you from being late, but your score improves more when you pay the balances down off every month, right? Lower balances, lower risk, higher score. Can't beat that shit. You know what I mean? Here's the correct way to use the credit card, right? Use the card, let the balance report, then pay it down. That's all you need to do each and every time, right? That's how positive behavior gets recorded. Not by carrying debt, not by maxing out cards, right? But by showing control. So step 4, I need you to add positive credit to your account. Removing negatives isn't enough. A lot of people think that, right? So here's something that most people don't understand. Removing bad credit does not automatically give you good credit, right? Deleting damage doesn't, remember, to build trust, right? Your score doesn't just need less bad, it needs more good, right? We're adding positive accounts, right? Your credit score grows positive activity, right? Not just deleting, you need positive activity on your reports, right? This where tools like credit builder accounts, right, come into play. Secure credit cards come into play. Starter cards come into play, right? These aren't fancy, they're foundational. You need them. Remember, don't forget to check out those 2 documents. I got something in there for you, right? That comes along with this video course, right? And let me be clear about the goal here, right? The goal is not to open a bunch of accounts, not at all. The goal is to create new, clean payment history, right? Remember we talked about payment history. You only need 1 to 3 positive accounts. That's it when you're starting out. Step 5, understanding what to dispute and what not to, right? The key point, check this out. Disputes are strategic, not emotional. Disputing credit is not about just saying this isn't mine to everything. That doesn't work. That's how people waste time and create the bureau to stall on looking into the issue that you're trying to fix, right? Disputes works best when you focus on a few things, and those few things are inaccurate reporting. We talked about that, right? Missing information, right? We talked about that. Inconsistent data across bureaus, right? Remember, by law, your credit report has to be correct. Remember, we talked about that also, right? What I won't give you in this video are dispute letters or exact wording, because that's where strategy matters, right? And everybody's situation is different. But understand this, you dispute errors, not responsibility. Let me say that again. You dispute errors, not responsibility, right? If it's an error, then dispute it, right? And you always fix your behavior first before disputing, or damage just comes back, right? That's why we talked about that early on in the first steps. I wanted to get your mind right, right? Because I love y'all, I'm going to tell you how you can use ChatGPT, right, the right way to write your own custom dispute letters based on your situation to help you fix your own credit, right? Quick disclaimer though, before we get into that part. I don't give out generic dispute letters because credit disputes are personal, right? What works for one person can hurt another person. So this way, you're not copying from random templates from the internet, right? Which we see a lot of those things going on, right? They may work, they may not, you know. You're creating a letter that actually fits your credit profile, right? So what I want you to do, I want you to go to chatgpt.com. I want you to sign up. It's free to use, right? ChatGPT, for those of you who don't know, is an AI chatbot. You can ask it anything in the world and it'll pull from the internet and it'll give you the answer, right? But the key to writing and asking ChatGPT questions is, if you're vague, you'll get a weak letter. We're talking about writing you a dispute letter, right? If you're specific, you'll get something that you can use. So be specific when you're writing your letters in ChatGPT, or you're asking ChatGPT to write your letter, right? I'm going to give you the exact language to use for each of the 4 disputes that we talked about, right? I added the document with the language of the 4 things we talked about earlier in this course. I'm gonna go over that again. You remember the 4, right? Number 1 was accounts that don't belong to you, right? Number 2 was incorrect late payments, right? Number 3 was old accounts that should be gone. Remember we talked about that. Number 4, incorrect balances or account statuses, right? So I got these letters. I left a letter, right? It comes along with this course. I want you to copy and paste that into ChatGPT and give it your specific situation. I want you to add your specific situation. I want you to add the credit bureau that you want to write this letter to, right? Once your letters are written, right, I want you to send them to the credit bureaus, right? Reporting the error that you have with that specific credit bureau, right? Mailing the letters is recommended for serious disputes, not that disputing online. I know a lot of people like disputing online. Writing a letter and mailing a letter is way more efficient. Remember the 3 credit bureaus: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. As a matter of fact, I'll remember to put their address in one of those documents along with this course so you know where to send the letters, right? You can send the disputes by regular mail or certified mail with a return receipt, right? And keep copies of everything. One more thing, do not dispute everything at once. Spread it out over the next few weeks or the next few months, right? Now I know I probably went over my time, right? But I wanted to give you as much value as possible. And I promise this is the last one. Last but not least, become credit ready, right? Step 6, right? Lenders approve patterns, not promises. Always remember that. Cleaning your credit isn't just about removing negatives, right? It's about becoming what the lenders call credit ready. That's what I want you to become, right? Credit ready doesn't mean perfect. It just means predictable, right? Let me tell you what that looks like. It looks like on-time payments, which we discussed throughout this whole course, right? Low balances, right? We discussed about that, getting that utilization down 30% or 10% if you can. Accurate reporting, right? We talked about that. Consistent monitoring. Always monitor your credit. Always check it, right? Not once, not sometimes, all the time, right? So this is what happens. When lenders review your file, they're not asking how bad your past was, right? They're asking one question. Does this person manage credit responsibly now, right now, as of today, right? That's it. You're not asking any more questions, right? Your past matters less than your current pattern. If you start doing the right thing, your past just gets swept under the rug, right? And when the pattern is strong, approvals get easier, limits get higher, and rates get better. Interest rates get extremely better, right? So I just want to say this before I close out this course, right? I know that was a lot to take in. So this video is yours, this course is yours. Watch it as many times as you need. Drill these things in your head, follow these things for the rest of your life, and your credit will be fine, right? If you follow these steps in order, you can clean your credit yourself, right? And start seeing real progress and credit boosts, right? Now, if you want to go deeper about some stuff, right? Dispute strategies, letters, credit stacking, right? That's going to be inside the course I'm building, right? At this moment of this recording, I'm building another course, right? This course will cover money management, right? Which is needed. Investing, right? Basics of investing, where to invest, how to invest, right? I'll get into those things. Wealth building, building your wealth, right? That's all this channel and my channel is about, building wealth and teaching real financial literacy, right? Teaching you the real life things, understanding credit, understanding it all that encompasses everything, right? As far as building wealth. And for those that are saying, I'd rather just have this handled for me, meaning your credit report. I also work with people one-on-one to repair their credit, right? If you want me help you, right? reach out through DM, or I left my email inside the PDF, right, with all your other resources. Remember, check out those 2 other documents that come along with this course. Do not forget that, it's important, right? But whether you work with me or not, I want you to remember this and this only. Credit is a system, and once you understand it, you stop fearing it, right? It's nothing but a system, and I'm going to teach you how to understand it, right? So if this helps you in any way, give me a shout out, tag me on social media, and I'll talk to you later, man. Be blessed. Peace.